The Promised Neverland, episode 12, was titled 150146. That was the title of this week's episode of The Promised Neverland, and this is the final episode of season 1. So, this is the last episode of season 1, and it was a pretty good episode. The art and animation was pretty good. The writing, everything, the pacing, everything as well, was amazing as well. Now, before I talk about the finale of season 1, let me announce this: season 2 of The Promised Neverland will be going on in 2020. So next year in 2020, season 2 of The Promised Neverland will be coming up. It has been announced. So that's all I got to say about that. Now we're going to be discussing about episode 12 of The Promised Neverland. Now this week's episode was pretty good. Like I said, art and animation, of course, was pretty good. In last week's episode, we ended off with Phil, pretty much right there where Isabella's at, where she was watching the house burn down and everything, and everybody was trying to figure out pretty much what's going on with Phil. But we finally got the answer and everything in this week's episode. So we start off with this week's episode. You know, the rest of the kids trying to escape, Emma, Ray, and the rest of them, Don and Gilda, and all of them. And we pretty much, like I said, we pretty much seen Phil right there where Isabella's at. And we're wondering why hasn't Phil went with the rest of the kids and stuff to escape, and we finally understand why. So apparently, Emma already told Phil about the situation. Apparently, during the 2 months or whatever, after Norman got shipped off, all the way until now, Emma told Phil that about the whole entire situation, about everything else, because she knows that Phil's pretty smart, and she told Phil about everything about Connie getting shipped out and Norman getting shipped out and the demons and about Isabella in the house and everything, the farm and everything like that. So Emma told Phil about that, and what Emma said was, I can't carry the rest of the kids, like the younger ones right now, but the older ones are going to escape right now, like Don and Gilda and all of them. That's what Emma was saying. Pretty much, kids are like older than 5 years old or whatever can escape right about now. But she said she told Phil, "Don't worry. In 2 years, we're going to come back and rescue you and the rest of the younger kids." So that's why Phil was staying at the house. And Isabella asked Phil, "Where's the rest of the kids at?" And Phil says, "Right here." And then the younger kids comes up. And Isabella's like, "Okay, we got the younger kids now, and they go capture Emma and them." And you see Isabella running through the woods and stuff. And every kid, Emma and them on this, on that wall and stuff, running, about to go to the bridge, but they can't now because Isabella done contacted the demons and stuff, telling them that Emma and them has escaped. And so there's going to be guards now at the gate and stuff, at the bridge and everything. So Emma and them can't escape going to the bridge now, but Emma comes up with the plan that Norman kind of wrote out when he came up to that cliff, where she can pretty much launch something, get tied up with the trees and stuff, and go down it, something like that. And apparently they've been training to do something like that for a while now. And Dawn pretty much had like had a rope, and it was tied up to a rock, throws it, and they got hung up on the tree, and they slipped down it, going down to the other side, making it to that side. And that's what most of the kids was doing. And one of the kids was like so scared, but she got tied up with pretty much she hung on to Ray and escaped that way and stuff. It was pretty cool. And then we see Emma. She's the last one that's about to go down to escape finally. And then Isabella comes up, and then she's like, "No, the kids." And then Emma done escape. So every kid, pretty much the older ones like Emma, Ray, Don, and Gilda, and the rest of them, the rest of the older ones has finally escaped from the farm. So they finally escaped. It was a great moment. Then we get Isabella's backstory. So pretty much she's reflecting on life now, and she started thinking about her life. Where she was young, she was like probably like 12 years old or something. So yeah, she was like, preteen or whatever. And she started thinking about one of these kids that I guess she was interested in or whatever. And he got shipped off and everything. He used to play a song or whatever, with the little guitar or whatever, playing songs and stuff. And then we see Isabella going through life and stuff, trying to escape after she found out the truth or whatever. And then they caught her and stuff. But then instead of doing anything with her, they say, hey, she could become a mom and stuff. She got pregnant. And after she got pregnant, had kids, she became the mom at Plant 3 at the farm where she's at now. And then we see a flashback with Ray and stuff, and Ray's pretty young at this point, and he's like, singing the song or whatever, and Isabella comes up and was like wondering how in hell you know that song, and Ray's like, yeah, I know you're my real mom, so yeah, Isabella is Ray's real mom. But yeah, Ray already knew about that, and yeah, it was pretty interesting. That was great. And Isabella was like kind of like freaked out that Ray knew about that song, But yeah, that was pretty cool right there. And then you see Isabella putting down her hair and everything. And then pretty much when you see the kids, like everybody running through the forest, and now you see Isabella saying, y'all better escape, see that light and move on, live on, and everything. So yeah, Isabella's kind of like at the end of this week's episode, you see her kind of encouraging the kids to escape. Something that she couldn't do. Apparently she tried in her backstory. You can see her trying to escape and everything, but it didn't work out and everything. So she was kind of like Emma in a way, athletic, smart, stuff like that. But they had the kind of like a more of a motivation to escape like Emma does, something like that, around those lines, something like that, So, and then Isabella became the way how she is now, and became the mom, pretty much didn't care, and I forgot to mention one thing, but with her backstory, where she notices Ray singing that song, or whistling to that song or whatever, of her friend, where she was very young and stuff at the other farm. After she asked Ray and everything about that stuff, Ray asked her why did she give birth to him, and Isabella comes out and says, so I can live longer, pretty much sacrificing anybody's life, sacrificing their kid's life, everything, for her to live longer, So, yeah, that was what Isabella was always doing. She did not care. Well, she kind of cared about the kids a little bit, You could kind of tell, like, throughout the whole entire 12 episodes, that she kind of cared about them, in a way. But she wasn't trying to get emotionally attached with them in a way, because, she's trying to force that way and stuff in a way, so she can live longer, sacrificing the rest of the kids' life so she can live longer. So yeah, but yeah, that was pretty interesting. That was pretty cool. And then she goes back to the house and tells Phil, yeah, they all escape safely. And then while the house is burning down and stuff, Isabella had blankets and stuff and tells all the kids, I know y'all cold and stuff, but y'all go ahead and sleep. And then the rest of the kids slept. So yeah, pretty interesting, pretty good episode. So with the future of Isabella, since this incident happened now, I think the demons are gonna, not let Isabella be a mom still after this, or not even be around at Plant 3. So yeah, this is gonna be pretty interesting what they're gonna do with Isabella. Now, Emma Ray and all them has finally escaped, and Emma has stated that in the next 2 years she will go back and save Phil and the rest of the kids. So yeah, uh, but yeah, that's what's going to go on there. But yeah, pretty good episode. Like I said, season 2 will be airing in 2020. Don't know when in 2020, but all I know is sometime in 2020. Now, if there's ever a release date or whatever of when in 2020, I will announce it on this channel. But yeah, like I said, pretty good episode of the Promised Neverland. Great finale to season 1. I liked it. We got the backstory of Isabella and, the kids finally escaping. A great moment, but yeah, everything was great. The art and animation was pretty good. The backstory of Isabella was great. The writing, everything. I like this week's episode of The Promised Neverland. I love the anime. It was one of my favorite animes. I'm not even gonna lie. But yeah, it was a pretty good one. But yeah, for this week's episode of The Promised Neverland, I'll give a 9 out of 10 stars. That's why I'll give it. Pretty good episode. I liked it. Or 8.5 out of 10 stars at the least. So yeah, I'll probably give it 8.5 out of 10 stars. But yeah, pretty good episode. Definitely can't wait for season 2. But whenever it does come out in 2020, expect the reviews to continue on the Promised Neverland of season 2. Hopefully soon I can start reviewing the manga of the Promised Neverland. So yeah, if you guys want me to, just comment below and I will start reviewing the Promised Neverland manga. But yeah, like I said, that's all I got to say about this week's episode of the Promised Neverland. Like, subscribe to Team W Wrestling on YouTube, subscribe to this channel, Word of Chris 1-800, subscribe to my other channel, Chris Videos. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and Facebook, and I'll be down there in the description box. So yeah, go follow me on all my social media accounts. And like this video and comment on this video about what you guys think about this week's episode of The Promised Neverland. In my opinion, it was a pretty good episode. I liked it. But yeah, that's all I got to say about it. And I will see you guys later into the next video.